Um,
as I was, as I got into,
yeah.
yeah, no, I left 20.
We're here with Off the Wall. My name is Beverly. I'm a RADI Fellow, journalist, and researcher. And I'm joined by Woosler, who is a Little Haiti born and raised, self taught documentary photographer.
There you go.
And we're so happy that you were able to join us today.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in this space.
So just start tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into photography.
Ooh, I got into photography. I got into photography through so about 11 years ago, I was noticing a change that was happening in Little Haiti. Um, I was noticing change that was happening in Little Haiti, and I knew that I needed to do something, right? So I decided just to pick up a camera and begin to photograph. I had no experience in photography. I didn't know what was f-stop, ISO. I just literally picked up a camera and began to photograph. Maybe 1 year into that, I came across who's my mentor now, Carl Juice. And it was funny because, Carl, I think we bumped heads about 3 times already. And so when he saw me, he was like, yo, every time I see you have a camera in your hand, what exactly are you? Yeah, son, just like, he said, so what exactly are you doing? And I'm like, no, I'm just going around just photographing, Little Haiti. That he was like, listen, I just started a class. It's like 3 weeks ago. The class is tomorrow. If you want to come, just join it. At the time I was like, at the time I was working as emergency vet tech. I'm like trying to go back to school for photography. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do it. He's like, look, just join it. It won't hurt. Just join it. Just take the class and see how you feel. Just going for one day. So I went in, and then from there, I met my other mentor, C.W. Griffin. And I remember sitting down with CW, and he asked me one question that just took me somewhere else. He asked me, what type of photographer are you? Like, I don't know, I'm just taking pictures. And he was, huh? I know, he get real deep. So he's like, so what type of photographer are you? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just photographing. I'm just photographing my community. And he's like, oh, so you're a documentary photographer. So I never heard the term documentary at all, documentary photographer. So I remember hearing that. Then Carl looked at me like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a list of black and brown photographers who's doing exactly what you're doing, going back in the '60s, like Gordon Parks and other amazing photographers. And I remember going home and just reading up all these other photographers, looking at their work. It just took me down this rabbit hole. I'm just like, this is what I want to do, because I wanted to document my community. And I stuck with CW and Cron, and they taught me how to really properly how to tell story through image. How to take my time with it, how to do proper research, how to put a photo essay together. Yeah, so that's how I got into it.
And so this was about how long ago did you start?
So this has had to be like, I want to say about 10 years ago, more or less, like 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years.
First, projects that you got involved in, and was it with Carl and?
So my first project was Little Haiti. So just taking back just a little bit. So I was born and raised in Little Haiti. My dad came in the early '60s. The house he's currently living in now, he purchased that house in 1969. I know, 1969. So I was born and raised in Little Haiti. Like everything I knew about culture, about tradition, um, it was just, yeah, I'm just Little Haiti, right? So I think because of the change that was happening, that really pushed me to really document it. So I really wanted to work on a project on Little Haiti. So I began to document Little Haiti, the dead little life of Little Haiti. And again, I didn't know exactly what I was doing, right? I was just going around and just snapping pictures until I met CW and Carl, and they taught me how to properly really tell a story. So I began to create little essays throughout the community. So regardless if it's, you good? Hold on. Welcome to the big house.
This is where he like edited his little candid moment.
Just go, just okay, okay. All right, so I began to create multiple essays just throughout my community, right? So regardless if it's Little Haiti at night, regardless if it's spirituality throughout the community, regardless if it's folks going to church or street photography, just multiple essays throughout the community.
It's like the strict reality.
Yeah, yeah,
The
okay.
the reality of just being
Yes, yes,
in that movie. And when you're talking, I kind of start thinking about how you're coming from it from a non photojournalist
yeah,
or trained in the art of news.
yeah, yeah. Keep going.
Okay. So coming at it from a coming at it from like a
Yeah,
perspective where you didn't go to journalism school
yeah,
per se, or you were not working in a news environment. Wondering if that was actually an advantage in being able to connect and relate to the community. I mean, you're coming at it from the perspective of being a member of the community,
yeah,
not so much, an outsider coming in. With
yeah,
a lot of news and photojournalism,
yeah.
you can kind of get that sort of separation.
Separation. So yeah, so I think that's what it was. I think it was the fact that I was just telling my story. I didn't see myself as a photojournalist. I didn't see my, I'm be honest with you, for a very long time, I didn't see myself as an artist. I didn't see myself as a quote unquote documentary photographer. I just see myself as someone who just documented my community. So that's when you see my work, you see myself in it too. Because I think once you begin to put those certain titles, it do give you that separation, right? Because now you're coming in as a photojournalist, so you have to like, I guess there's a couple of protocols you have to follow. So it kind of give you that separation. But when you're the one that's telling your own form of story, even though it is about a community, but this you're part of that community, then you become that essay. It's almost like a self-portrait. I mean, it is a self-portrait. It's a self-portrait.
And I think it also relates to, the idea of um, building a community identity,
Yes.
and being able to see those images reflecting the actuality versus and we'll get into this a little more, the stereotype of the community that
Yeah.
I mean, can go over.
Yeah, no, no.
So, I mean, in one way, when I look at your work, it's almost as if the visual language is a graceful rebuttal to the stereotype and
Shay.
stigmatization
Yes.
of these communities.
Yes. So I think that's the reason why I wanted to tell, regardless if it's my communal or even spirituality. Are we gonna get into that part too?
Yeah.
Just jumping straight into?
Yeah, we should get into.
Okay. So the main reason why I got into spirituality. So I've been documenting spirituality for about 6 years now. Solid 6 years, right? And the reason why I got into it because I got tired of the negative perception that people had when it came down to my practice. I know there was more into um, when I mean spiritual, I mean as far as Haitian voodoo, Lukumi, Santeria, Ifa, this African tradition. So I began to document that. And I want to show that there's more to this negative perception that people had when it came down to this practice. I want people to see exactly what I see, right? And what exactly do I see? I see Black joy. I see community. I see a gathering. I see a form of remembrance. That's the type of stuff I see. So that's when people, when they see my work, they see those stuff, right? Because I wanted to get away from, and for so long, it's been almost like this white man gaze. So I've been trying to get away from that. Because when people think of Haitian voodoo for so long,
It has that stigmatization.
yes, exactly. So I wanted to get away from that. Because at the same time, there's nothing wrong with someone's being mounted, right? There's nothing wrong with, someone's giving an offering to the ancestor where they're using animal sacrifice. We use for those two for example, right? But because we've been showing that for so long, that's the only image we have with no real contact with it, then it becomes this negative perception, right? This is all we know about Haitian voodoo.
And you don't know the
The real reason, exactly. So I pretty much get away from that. So my image, you don't see none of that. So in my image, you will see laughter, you will see a community, you will see a gathering, you'll see a form of remembrance. Um, you know, interesting enough, when somebody see my work, they're like, man, you make voodoo look so beautiful. I'm like, it is.
Because yeah, it mean it's taking and it again replacing this stereotype with
Yeah,
sense of the joy and the humanity
for sure.
that's in this these practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Another really interesting photo I was reading a bit about your exhibition at History Miami, which I want to know more about how you got
Yes,
in,
sanctuary. Yes.
but it focuses on the role of women in these.
Yes. So there's two projects you're talking about. So the role of women, I do have a current project called the God Mama. So the God Mama is focusing on the women in the practice. So I dedicate this project to the women, and how I got there. So it's a long story. So I decided to create my very first solo show. I rushed into it, right? This is like
This is one at History Miami.
no. This is a couple years back. This is going a couple years back. So a couple years back, I decided to have a solo show called I am my ancestors' wildest dream. So I just got into this. I began to document spirituality. I traveled to Cuba. I'm document all throughout the states on Haitian voodoo and Ifa. So now I decided to like, you know what? I'm gonna showcase my work. Not really putting no thought into it, this and that, whatever. Matter of fact, it took like 2 months. I called one of my curators, Marie Vick, who was like, "Hey Marie, I want to put a show together." And it said like if it's November, no, it was October, I want to showcase it in January. So Marie like, okay, but I just rushed into it, right? I decided it is, but at the same time, I wasn't disciplined. I didn't even allow even my two mentors, Carl and CW, to even look at the work. So I literally just put the show out there. Matter of fact, Marie didn't even see the image until the day of. So again, it's my very first solo show. I was feeling myself. People was loving my work on social media. I'm traveling. I'm feeling power. I'm working on spirituality. And I remember just showcasing the whole entire work, right? So I showcased the work, and maybe 2 hours before the opening, Carl ended up coming in, and Carl seen it. So Carl walking around, he's looking around, and he was just like, he said, "Next question, like, what's up?" He said, "What exactly are you trying to say?" I'm like, "What you mean? I'm talking about spirituality. You don't get it, the title, the image." And I showcased maybe like over 80 image, and just like all over the place. So Carl was like, okay, I understand about spirituality, but what exactly are you trying to say? Now, remind you, the door's about to be open. I got people outside just ready to come in. So, like, damn, he said, you know what? The image are fine, it looks strong, but let's have a conversation later on. So, had the open, people loved the work. Then I remember talking to Carl 2 weeks later. He was like, what exactly are you trying to say about spirituality? Yes, this is something you want to get into. Yes, it's something you want to document, but what exactly are you trying to say? I'm like, damn, you're right. So I remember sitting down, looking at all the image. I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. And that's why I was like, okay, how I got into this, how I began to document spirituality. It's the women. My spiritual mom, at the time she wasn't my spiritual mom, but she the one that brought me into document spirituality. So I decided to do a whole series on women in the practice. I have a grandmother who was also a priestess, my spiritual mom. I just had a daughter. So all these women or this feminine energy that's around me that I absolutely love, I decided to document or dedicate this work to them. So I remember maybe a couple weeks before the closing of the show, I took everything down because I was like, nah, I ain't showcasing this no more. Because again, it was all over the place. I'm showing voodoo, and I'm also showing sacred stuff too. Because I also was mimicking some of the stuff I was looking at some of the old photo books, and I was like, this is not me. I'm gonna show the real practice. I really have to show through my real lens. So I took everything down, retaught myself how to really document. I became more patient. Began to do more research, um, and I decided to work on the series on women in practice. That was a long.
This part from what would you call it? Curatorial.
Yeah, so that one is from Sanctuary. Yes.
We'll just go right into it. Go ahead. So in this exhibition that opened at History Miami Museum, you put out this curatorial statement, and I want to read this because it just really hit a note.
Yeah.
In our mother's womb, we are innocent. Oblivious to the world around us, our environment matures us until we are prepared to meet our destiny and the path that will lead us there. Harnessed by our incubator, we are anchored to our very first sanctuary and sacred place. And when we must leave this place to face our world, we seek the same protection, depth, warmth, nutrition, and connection provided in the world.
Ashe. Ashe.
So what, how did
So, I really have to give homage. First, I want to say thank you. Be part of the show. I have two curators, Marie Vickles and Ariola. Ariola is the one who put the essay for me, also the written essay. And that was just, yeah. I mean, you just read it and just, but yeah, goes exactly.
when I read that, I was going through your the page, and it's just like it struck so many chords.
So for me, when it comes, even reading, even listening to that essay again, when it comes down to the mother, right, the godmama, in African tradition, we believe that the woman gave birth to spirituality, right? So I always give homage to the great mother. You know, she is the ocean keeper, Yamoja. You know, someone I'm very connected to. You know, Mother Nature, like everything's dealing with the birth of just the woman. Um, and this is why I've always aligned myself with practitioners or priestess, because I get my energy through them. I get my source of information through them. I get my patience. um, yeah,
Lessons.
yeah, just all of it.
And so I know that this was part of it was a fellowship program, right?
Yes, fellowship. Yeah.
Find this, get into
Ooh, yes. All right.
it's a really big deal for you and for History Miami because you're the first one.
Yes, I'm the very first one. So, um, first let me backtrack just a little bit. So during COVID, you know, everything was happening, right? The chaos between COVID, the Black Lives Matter protests, like it was just like all over the place. And I remember documenting, just like most photographers at the time, just going downtown and just documenting all the protests that was happening. And I remember within the third day, I decided like this is too much for me. You know, I'm very connected to the water. I decided to go to the beach. I sat by the water, and I remember just like telling myself, "Damn, where do we go to heal? Where's our safe haven? Um, where's our sanctuary? Right? You know." And I remember just writing that down. Where's our sanctuary? Tucked it away, whatever, put it away, and I also went to this form of depression also too. So I actually put photography on pause for a whole entire year during the pandemic and COVID. All I just went hiking. I went hiking every other month. Just went hiking. just took off. So now I took my camera, but I wasn't working on any form of project. I was just documenting, you know, me going hiking and all that. So now, a year and a half later, I applied for this fellow at the History of Miami. Someone reached out to me. Matter of fact, I was in Haiti. He's like, "Hey, there's this fellow. You should apply for it." I was like, we'll see." So when I came back, it was the last day. There was like, "Yo, have you applied?" You know what? Let me apply for it. So I just applied for it and just sent it off. And a month later, they reached out to me and said, "Hey, you want the fellow and you want X, Y, and Z, you know?" And I'm just like, whoa. So now I have to create a body of work. And remind you, I just took a year and a half off. I was trying to get into back into the Godmama series again. But even with that, I was like really pacing myself. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So now, so like, you know what, I'm working on a project. What project I'm gonna work on? What new project is it has to be based in my at least South Florida. So I went to my notepad. I'm looking at different projects, Little Haiti projects, the Godmama here in Miami, and I see this thing say, a sanctuary. No, what is my sanctuary? Well, let's take that. Where is my sanctuary? But remind you, like I just wrote that down. It was not part of a project. I just wrote it down, and I was like, you know what? Where is my sanctuary? Let me really tackle that. Let me see what does a sanctuary look like for the Black and Brown community. But not only focusing on Haitian voodoo and Ifa, because I have access to that, right? But also going to the churches, going to the mosques, and also, those places throughout my community, like Little Haiti, like North Miami, like Hialeah, like even South Broward, right? Whereas mostly the Black and Brown communities also is there too. And really figure out where is our sanctuary? What does it look like? And yeah, I just went in and began to document that. You know, go ahead. Yeah, and I just went in. I just went in and began to document that, um, and really try to tell that story of what sanctuary looked like for us. Um, yeah,
Can I ask you a kind of a philosophical?
of course.
Because so in the title, it's sanctuary. Tell me, I
Sanctuary, our sacred space.
think it's our sacred
Place. Sorry, sanctuary, our sacred place. Yeah.
What does place mean to you?
So that's a good question because sanctuary and place or a sacred place. Working on this project, I noticed that it could be anywhere, right? So if you came to see the show, you will see that obviously you'll see a mosque, right? But also you will see in that same essay, you'll see someone's home, right? You will see our very first sanctuary in the African tradition was nature. So you'll see the beach, you'll see baptism by the water, right? During Good Friday, in Little Haiti and also in Adapata, the two Catholic Church, they do the procession of Yahshua Christ, what we call Jesus Christ. They do the reenactment of that, but it's in the street. That become a form of sanctuary. So now you have all these different locations that become sanctuary for different practice, and I want to really showcase that.
And it connects, to I noticed like the theme, how
Yeah.
the work it's centered around Little Haiti, centered around a mosque or a procession, and it's like turning those communal spaces into places where people gather,
Yes.
connect,
Yes.
commune,
Yes.
and I mean it's really it goes along the whole theme of that destigmatization.
Yes.
I think that the opposite, the rebuttal to um, stigmatization and stereotyping is going in and showing the reality of what that community place means
Yeah.
to the people who are there.
Exactly.
Without-
Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. No, no, you're absolutely right. It's um even for the opening of my show, it's almost like I kind of pop everyone bubble because everyone was living in this form of bubble in Miami. You've seen the work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
You mean you don't you with some of this is from
Yeah, no,
a similar
yeah. Yeah, no, no. I really want to, and that's the reason why. So interesting though, when people, especially the spirituality part, right? The spirituality, and also I got a chance to document a Orthodox Ethiopian church in Miami Garden. So when people see those words, like, oh man, you went to Ethiopia? Oh man, this is Africa. Oh, this is Cuba. Like, no, this is South Florida. I purposely kept it here in South Florida. I could easily showcase works I've done outside of the U.S., but I wanted to show this theme of South Florida because again, when we think of Miami, think of South Beach, we think of Wynwood, think of nice condo, we think of the Miami Heat. So everyone lived in this little bubble, this little cocoon, right? So when it was like, oh my gosh, this ceremony happened in Miami Shores. This voodoo ceremony happened in Miami Shores. Yeah. I know, I know. I know, I said that on purpose. So this voodoo ceremony happened in Miami. Oh my God, for real? Oh man, this voodoo ceremony happened in Plantation, Dana Beach, Hollandale Beach. Like this is places that here right at home.
Oh,
Yeah.
and again, like people who are not part of that community, they don't realize that the depth and the meaning that these ceremonies have. And so your work, it exemplifies that. And what I want to ask you, what has the reception been? Are people surprised?
Oh man, people, I mean, all of it, all of it, all of all of it and above, man. I've been having great response. People are still going to the show. You have to sit with each essay. I'm still getting texts and emails from folks who's like, it's like my sixth time coming to the show, you know. Great reviews, and at first it was just me showcasing the work, right? Um, I know it would have been a I'm teaching myself how to receive my flowers. I'm really teaching myself, so I will own it. I know I did the damn thing. I know that I showed something that Miami have not seen yet, or have never seen, of showing interfaith of a photo essay that dealing with every form of tradition, right, all in one show, where it wasn't nothing disrespectful, it wasn't nothing where anyone felt any type of way. Matter of fact, one of the pastors I got a chance to photograph, who's also a Baptist pastor, he told me in a million years I would never thought my image would be next to an image from a voodoo ceremony, and it still looks so beautiful. And it's those type of conversations, right? That I've been having with folks. So yeah,
The universality,
yeah, yeah.
I need to edit that. The common,
The commonality, yeah, the commonality.
that human experience to connect spiritually at the spiritual level, it is
Showing that showing the bridge between, for example, one of my essays called Remembrance, where I showcase. So in Haitian Voodoo, we have this celebration during mid-October going to November called Fête Gede. So Gede is a spirit of the ancestors. Gede is someone who we call upon. He's a protector of the ancestors, right? Yeah,
coming in preparation.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. So we have Fed Gideon, right? But also the same day, we also in the Mexican tradition we have the Day of the Dead, right? Happen November 1st. So those essays that you're looking at actually happen 2 days apart from each other. But it's really showing those bridge, right? Because again, it's still dealing with remembrance at all, at all. And it's still showing the form, showing that bridge, but also showing how we celebrate the ancestors, and we all do it. So I needed to. So without the Day of the Dead essay, I wouldn't have not shown the voodoo photo essay that get it because I needed those two to tell this story, to tell this beautiful story. And even another essay called As We Pray, where I show more of an interfaith, showcasing different ways of us praying, different traditions, but we all pray to the same Creator.
And I think, that there's the cliche of photos worth a thousand words.
Yeah.
These are things that I don't know if you could convey it without a photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least it wouldn't have a so
Yeah.
again, we're not that different.
At all. At all. At all. And
It's
yeah, no, at all. We are not that different. And I'm glad that I had a great review. Everyone loved the essay. Everyone loved the show. Um, yeah.
the show is on.
Until January 26th.
So
Jan-
there's a little bit of time.
yes, yes, yes.
What's next?
So we have, as far as for the show, we do have a program next week. Um, November 16th. Well, I'll say it just in case. November 16th called Sacred Movement. Um, so that come out next week. As far as what's next, hopefully, do become a traveling show. And I'm also currently putting together a book project with it. Um, yeah, so it's big. It's big. At first I kind of just went in, okay, let me just showcase the work, let me see what happened. But now begin this great reviews. I'm like, okay, let me actually publish this project so it could actually live in history. and people can actually see it. So good.
We're good. Good. Is there any just
Um,
talking about?
so closing thoughts. Thank you for much. Closing thoughts. So this project that you're seeing, so this project that you're seeing with Sanctuary is a self-portrait of myself. Really all the projects, right? And it's something I had to figure out, right? So a couple months ago, my art rep, she was asking me, "What is your voice in this project?" Same thing you just did. I did the exact same thing. So I'm like, "What you mean? Like none? Like what? Like tell me your voice. What is your voice? Like what do you trying to say?" And I was like, you know what? Let me sit with that question for a little bit. I remember going back home. This might be within the second week. So I took 2 weeks. Now I'm stressing myself out because a couple months later, I have this big show that's about to happen. And I don't even know my voice, right? And also, I've been traveling all around the world. I've been documenting a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, I cannot figure out what is my voice. So I put Sanctuary down for a second, and I looked at every essay that I put together, from Little Haiti, God Mama, and Sanctuary. And it was at that moment I realized, like, yo, this is a self portrait of myself. Little Haiti was me introducing myself as a photographer. The God Mama was my initiation process, right, into the practice, right. And Sanctuary is another. Sanctuary was me trying to figure out what is my safe space. Where's my sanctuary, right? Because each essay that you're looking at is also part of my story too. Because I'm trying to investigate, like, what is my sanctuary? Where is my safe space? So that's when I realized, like, oh my God, this is a self portrait of myself. So it's me not detaching myself from the essays. You actually see myself in the essay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ashay, thank you so much.
That's been great.
Ashay, thank you so much. No, no, thank you. This was dope, man. It's like now, if it was last year, I'm be honest with you, it would be like, wait, time out, because I've been doing media training, so now I'm good. And this is good too.
Go ahead.
No, this is good because it's we're having a conversation. He told me that earlier. We're gonna have a conversation because I was a little nervous at first. I'm like, oh gosh, it's gonna be big time, and I don't know.
They were like, oh, it's like it's informal, it's conversation.
Yeah.
Like I've never done it.
No, you was great. You honestly, you were great, and we just.
Been told I'm a very formal person.
No, no, you was perfect. Everything was good, and none of the conversation was beautiful, and I love the fact that I was able to tell my story. That's the main thing.
I think that's really important, especially as photographers. You're saying how you're always behind the camera and being able to express that. And I mean, no,
Yeah.
this is kind of no.
None. No, this the best time. As someone who does this week.
My obsession sort of, or the theme of the work I'm trying to explore is the role of narrative and storytelling, particularly visual language, it as a not just a witness, but a driver of
Sure.
social, cultural, and progressive
Sure.
change. And I think that your work really encapsulates all of that in the best way.
Sure. Thank you.
So grateful that we had this opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
See,
Yes, yes, you will definitely see more. It's just it's growing from here. Definitely growing from here. So thank you so much.